Hello, welcome to the TNT Podcast. My name is Darren, and we are here with Tuna, Dan, Roddy, and a very special guest, TA Tech. How's everybody doing today?
Smashing, thanks.
So another week, another interesting round of tech news coming out of the world this week. We've had some iPhone controversy. We've had some MacBook events. We've had the Beatles being, resurrecting their two dead members and releasing an AI track. We've had ad blocker controversy. It's Black Friday coming up. It's all happening. But I think a good place to start would probably be with Apple. Now, TA Tech is a little bit of an Apple fan, which he's a bit obsessed. He's got an Apple tattoo on his butt cheek. He didn't say that out loud. We're just assuming at this point. Before we went on air, he's like, "You got to see this," and he was like, "Here you go." And so there's a big controversy this week. Was a lot of we've seen a lot of Apple marketing in recent times where they say that the commercial product placement marketing campaign video is shot on iPhone. Then someone peeled back the curtain this week on what it actually means to have something filmed by an iPhone. And so I've got a little bit of a clip here. I'm hoping this doesn't get us copyrighted again, but let's find out. So this was some of their footage that they released. I'm just gonna pull up a scene.
If it's going to show anything that means that iPhones aren't the greatest, I don't want to watch it.
It's insane. Listen, before Log, do you want to know who used Log? Other people that didn't have iPhones, like professional video creators, right? Now, every fucking iPhone user is out there going, I got to film this in Log. I'm going to be doing Log so I can color grade and all of that fun shit. Anyway, beside the point. Sorry, I'm going off on a rant.
Kills me.
On that topic, what's the photo file format that iPhones shoot in? HEIC?
HEIFF? HEIFF.
So we got these for work. We got iPhones for work, and we got to shoot pictures for evidence, and then we got to put them on our Windows that doesn't support the damn format.
Yes,
so I got to convert it. It's the stupidest crap I've ever seen in my life.
I think you can change it to a more compatible.
You can probably in the settings, but it's just a pain.
But by default, it's quite annoying because it's got that, and then also you've got HDR video as default as well.
Yes. Yeah. You have to
loads of people end up uploading.
Well,
it looks awful.
For work, I shoot in Log. For sure.
Yeah, of course you do. Yeah. Yes. Because you need that high quality video for that.
When I'm shooting evidence, I get the whole rig out, the lighting rig and everything. My partner thinks I'm crazy, but it's great. It really
you have the rail so you can get a nice smooth roll in transition. Like towards that perk. Yes.
I'm not at that level yet.
So TA Tech, I want to ask you now, you've probably seen all the controversy online about this. People are losing their fucking minds because I think like a lot of us, we all thought that, Tim Cook's niece is filming this shit, handheld style and to prove the prowess of the phone. What are your thoughts on everybody kind of coming out hot on this particular topic?
Man, I mean, I think that honestly, all phones are good with cameras. I think that, there's a lot of people that say, oh, this guy's an Apple fan, whatever, but to each their own. Everybody's going to have their own opinion. Just you can't pick and choose fights with people. You just got to move on. This being said, I was very surprised that the Apple event was shot on iPhone solely. Like when I saw that pop off, I'm like, wait, what did I just see?
It did look good.
It did look good. Yeah. But I mean, here's the thing. The thing that bothers me about that setup is if you flood any image or any such scene with enough light, the footage is going to come out great. Right. I mean, what the issue is, the problem is with them saying, hey, it's shot on iPhone, is that I think, like I said, in a lot of people's minds, they went, oh, cool. So it's a guy with maybe like a handheld gimbal standing in front of Tim Cook and all these other presenters and a big digital screen and them going, oh, this is awesome. But there's a lot that's going into that. And don't get me wrong, it looks great. That's not what it is, right? Sepp said, show us the equipment you're using to film the events, Tim. Yeah. And Dan, yeah, nice. Yeah. I don't know if we want to see Tim Cook's equipment. I imagine it's probably more like an iPhone 13 mini rather than a Pro Max. But I mean, I don't know.
Might not even be able to see
it. You know, I don't know. But
don't hate on the mini stuff, man.
No, I'm not. Listen. I think most of us are rocking mini to mid. Is that
the fan favorite category on your OnlyFans, right?
There you go.
Micro.
Oh.
Micro. Now, is
I'm
it
interested now?
He wants to subscribe. Now, let me ask you all this: is it deceptive to put shot on iPhone at the end of one of these and not tell people that's how it was done?
No.
No,
I don't think it is. I don't think it is because I mean they have shot it on an iPhone.
It is.
It is capable of achieving that level of quality, which it's not like there's been things in the past where you've seen like I think Logitech they released the Stream Cam.
Yes,
and they said DSLR like quality, but they'd literally done the footage with a DSLR. On the advert, so that kind of thing is super misleading. And just an outright lie.
Yes,
but I think at least Apple's being honest in that it has been shot on an iPhone, but nobody is realistically going to get that sort of quality from an iPhone. If you're spending that much on a rig and all that sort of things, you're going to spend that on a camera,
exactly,
and other things for your kind of setup because it's not practical.
Well, I mean, the reality is, I mean that. How much? What's the ballpark for that setup that they have in there? Let's just pull it up on screen again. I'm just going to see if I can.
I can't even think what it would be.
Right here is literally the perfect shot. Hang on, I'm going to share this so you guys can see this.
I saw a thing on Reddit that said that gimbal setup that was $500,000.
Holy shit!
Jesus!
Wow.
Hey,
$500,000. Wow.
GoPro or go home.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Listen, I'm gonna buy that $25 selfie stick on Amazon, and my shit's gonna look just as fucking good. Okay, I don't care what you guys say, but that on the screen right now, for those of you who are watching this tomorrow, is probably one of the most epic camera rigs you'll ever see. And I mean, you can kind of get a sense of just how big and I mean, that's on a rail. I'm assuming that's on a smooth rail laid between the things here. That's not on wheels.
Well,
it's a gimbal.
So when this posted,
gimbal,
there were some other people saying, well, look what Samsung did with the S blah, blah, blah. They did the same thing. I wonder if they're using the same equipment. I mean, I'm sure all these companies that shoot with their camera are doing the same thing. It's not just iPhone and Apple.
Oh, no, 100%. Like, those shot-on commercials, for Samsung and Apple and all those other companies. Even the Google stuff, like we just saw recently, like 100% they're using like a similar setup. I mean, Google probably not as much because, they're probably using like a fucking cardboard VR lens or something because, they don't have the same money that Apple does apparently. But, I mean, I don't know. Like part of me is kind of not surprised. Like Dan said, I mean, it is still shot on an iPhone, which again is a testament to the quality of what they can do with their video. But I do feel as though it's not what people expected is probably the way that I would describe it. Tuna, what are your thoughts?
Well, I already told you what I do. I use the same rig. So I have the 15 Pro Max, and I don't leave my house without a full editing rail, everything in my car. It's just how I roll. You go to the park, and people were holding their hands out taking selfies. Well, I got the whole rig. So it's a little heavy at times, but, you get used to it.
So you're using a dolly for your B-roll on your YouTube channel, is that right?
No, I don't do B-roll.
Right. Okay. You C-roll.
It's for I'm starting an OnlyFans page. I saw the success Roddy had, so I'm using that.
Old Tuna's roll is A-roll.
That's it. He doesn't need to show B-roll.
Did you say I'm an A-hole or an A-roll? Either one works, but
take it as you will.
He also does it in a single take. I don't know if he told you that. Like it's just one take, first take, and that's
all the angles at the same time.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Now, very confusing.
Little side note here. So Toon, I know you do some YouTube stuff. Roddy does too. Dan, I know you do some stuff. Now, let me ask you an honest question, and you feel free to answer if you will or not. Do you guys use a down camera, like a pointing down camera?
Yes, I do.
Yes,
sometimes.
I
will be more so soon.
Yeah, I've actually started to incorporate that a little bit with the Pixel 4. I mean, yeah, again, not as good as an iPhone video quality wise, but it does the job. And for live streams as well, occasionally I'll put a top down shot, but it's very rare.
Now, let me ask you this. Given that we, are in the tech space and we tend to follow other creators, is that the go-to shot for product reviews? Is that it? Is that the one? Like, could you get by on just a down shot, like a Flossie Carter style? Review?
Obviously, you can. Flossie Carter does it. I mean, like you just said. I think it's a combination. I think you see a lot of people using it as, like, a lot of people do unboxings and kind of first impressions. They do the top down for the unboxing, then they do the headshot where they're talking, and they kind of layer it in and out. So
I don't know if you guys know Zach Talks Tech. He actually, when he does his live streams, he has both his main camera and the top down shot. So either way, you can see him, and I think that, I think that's really cool.
Yeah, technically T does that too when he has a drink at night or whatever. He has multiple angles too. Yeah.
I want to know. There's one thing that
it's based on me.
There's one thing that I would love to ask Zach one day, and I've had him on my streams, but I didn't get to ask him. Yes, he uses StreamYard, but I'm wondering what other platform he uses, because I mean, obviously, StreamYard doesn't have like the multiple angle camera thing. So I wonder. I know that there's a way to do it. To use StreamYard with another thing, so
I think you got to pay.
Yeah, I think if you've got the money, money's coming out there. Or either that, or maybe he enters the chat with multiple users. So one is the camera, one is him. Perhaps I wonder if that's kind of what it is. But speaking of the down shot, what this you guys might have seen a little sneak preview there.
You leaked it.
I leaked it. Sorry. Does that mean that all of these tech guys have basically become hand models? Is that what that means?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sure.
Because I don't know about you. Like, listen, I would argue my hands are pretty average looking, but most of the time they're, for obvious reasons, chafed and like fucking dry, and there's like hangnails and. I almost feel like I don't want people to see my hands.
There's been a few times I made a video, and afterwards I'm looking, I'm like, oh man, I got blood on my hand. Like I had a cut, I didn't even see. So you're so used to looking at your own hands that you don't really,
you don't notice it.
And I'm like, oh man, that nail was nasty. Oh, I had some grease on there from working on. You don't think about it.
Yeah.
But you know what? I just put it out there.
The level of effort you put into videos, mate.
That's exactly.
Yes, I'm very professional.
I know there's one person here whose hands are always lubed up, and that's Roddy. Now, Roddy, he's a perfectly smooth. Now, Roddy, you use the top-down shot in your videos, I think, if I've got that right? How have you found that to be... Sorry. Have you found that to make... Have you found more success when you incorporate the top-down shot when it comes to your videos?
So I typically use that top-down shot whenever I'm showing when I talk about the performance of the phone and showing how it scrolls and how it functions and everything's smooth and that sort of thing. People can see apps open and close and stuff like that. That's mainly when I use it. But my most recent one where I unboxed the CMF stuff, I was the same way Tuna was. It was like I didn't notice until after it was over. Like this finger right here, like when I bike, that's the one that you use a lot.
Yes.
This finger, Darren,
Yes, yeah, that one. Yeah.
He knows
it gets a lot. That finger gets a lot of action. So it was really dry and crusty, and I've got a pretty good callus right there, and I forgot. And so like in that whole video, I don't think anybody else saw it, but I saw it and I was like, ooh, that looks really disgusting.
Well, I know Flossie Carter, he always mentions, I know he's a big gym guy. He always mentions that he's got like a fucked up thumb, like it's always chafed or cut or broken. So he has issues with the fingerprint scanner on a lot of his videos, and you see him struggling every fucking time. But again, I know for some people that's a shot that they seek out because, listen, for everyone, all these guys that we watch, the reality is probably most of them, like us, we probably don't want to be on camera the whole time, right? Like, I mean, it's intimidating to watch yourself back and go, oh, fuck, I look retarded, like, well, look at me, like, what the fuck?
That's me in every video.
Yeah.
So it comes natural for some people.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Well, yeah. So, I mean, for me, go ahead, Tia.
I don't know about you guys, but I hate editing my own videos. Like, I hate hearing myself back, and it's just like, do I really sound like this?
I think the longer you do it, the less you have that feeling. I don't even care anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't.
There's been a few times where I had to edit out some sounds, like my dog barked in the background. I'm like, of course. I didn't stop it in time.
I care if I have somebody else watching it back in my presence. I'm like, turn it off.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm fine. Yeah. It's like, I don't know what that is, but
I have my headphones in when I'm editing because I don't want my family to hear it. I want to get it out for it. My kids don't. My family doesn't watch my crap anyways, but yeah.
Same.
Oh yeah, I have very few friends that watch my stuff, and the ones who do are just there to support me, and that's it. Like,
listen, bud. Listen. After today, your viewership's going to go up by about 3%. So it's going to right there. It's going to jump, right? Because that's what we do. And Rent a Friend is available now.
It's global. It's global.
I'm just going to.
Wow. That's impressive.
Yeah.
I'm just going to show you a little clip, and we'll move on. But this is from a very, very famous movie about a model. Derek Zoolander. I'm just going to put this on.
Behind every hit, a card-carrying male model.
Okay, that's impossible.
Oh, yeah? Listen and learn, sweetness. Abe Lincoln wanted to abolish slavery, right? But who do you think made the powdered wigs and colored leg stockings worn by our country's early leaders?
Who got to?
Slaves, Derek. And without their free labor, prices on such items would have gone up tenfold.
Wait a minute.
No.
I know that hand.
Oh my God. Oh, look at that hand.
It was in the fall 1973 Boulevard watch catalog. J.B. Pruitt. The world's greatest hand model.
Okay, on that note, yes, Zoolander. What's a TNT podcast without an amazing movie reference there? But yes, we've all become all these YouTube people have become hand models. Yes,
I know.
Well, I know Dan. He's very much getting his weekly. Is it pedicure? I was going to say, is it manicure? I have no idea. One of those two fucking things. Probably
Petty Manny.
Funny story, little story. Just like when I was at work once, I had this random lass who was with her mum, and she was like, "You've got really nice nails for a man."
Oh no! Oh no! What did you say to that? What did you say? Thank you.
I was like, thanks.
Okay, so you guys are all looking at the screen, right? You see all our faces. So is this the moneymaker or is that the moneymaker?
Oh, that's a good question.
You have to decide. I mean, this is my moneymaker, but
I think the product is the moneymaker.
Yeah,
that's exactly right. Yeah,
well, and the product, of course.
But you might be the product as well.
Ah, that's it.
That's right.
Wow, that's deep. That's deep right there.
We're going deep.
Yes. Now, little side note. I know this is a tech podcast, by the way, and we're talking nails. But anyway,
you started it.
Have you ever seen in some vacation spots, destinations, if you will, they have those places where you can go and sit down and put your feet inside a bucket of water, and those little fish will eat all the dead skin off your feet.
I saw those on my honeymoon. Yes, many.
Now, I personally, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I personally fucking think that's disgusting.
Yes.
Would you do it?
No.
Absolutely not.
I feel like that water's not clean.
Who the hell
very
cares
often.
about my feet? They're in socks and shoes like all day, every day. Who cares?
That's probably the problem. There's the problem right there.
Foot health.
Yeah. It's good for what? Sorry, Dan?
Foot health.
Yes, apparently, and that's apparently what the big sale feature there is, right?
Still not doing it.
What I found what works best for my feet is getting it smashed into a door. That's really fun. That seems to work really well. Yeah.
How is the toe doing, by the way? I know.
Oh, it's fine now. It's fine.
It's
fine.
He chopped
it's
it
still
off.
there.
It's gone. All right, still there. Okay, that's good.
I lost a bet.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yes. Okay. Anyway, moving on. This week, Apple had a big MacBook event, releasing a massive slew of brand new MacBook M3 powered beasts at their Scary Fast event. So the M3 was kind of the big part of this story. The releasing of the M3, M3 Pro, and M3 Max, which are bringing notable improvements on their previous generation, and they are the first 3 nanometer chips for the PC. Massive changes here with these. Like, I don't know if you looked at the MacBooks, but they're going up like 24 gigs of RAM, 36 gigs of RAM.
And what's interesting about that is that, the Snapdragon has their new Elite chipset, but now that the M3's out, it's like the M3 is the Lamborghini and the Snapdragon's like the Honda Accord. It's terrible. No, I'm just kidding.
No. I'm actually thinking more now. Like, I feel like this race is a bit more like a Porsche and Ferrari.
Yeah.
So I like it. The Porsche is that, the reliable, it's speedy, it can get the job done. The Ferrari's kind of like, you don't need it. It's ridiculously fast. You'll probably never drive that fast, but it's there and it looks good. I almost feel like that's the comparison now between like the M3 and the M2. M1.
Well, and I've heard some people say, oh, Snapdragon's just copying. You know what? Instead of playing that card, just say, look, Apple did lead the game in some of this ARM chip. But now everyone else is competing, and it's making it better for us. I don't understand when people have to fight who's better than who. We're going to win no matter what. I'm a Windows guy, so I'm more likely to use the Snapdragon than I'm not a big MacBook guy. But it's not MacBooks are crap.
It took a while for Microsoft to actually get Windows into a state that's actually good enough
usable
to run on as well. Yeah,
I agree. Yeah,
because they've got a lot more things that they need to manage with legacy apps and everything else.
And I mean,
Apple just went straight in. It's like, no, we're just moving to this. And they can because they've not got a massive market that uses their products in every service possible. So that it's got to you got to manage expectations.
Is the MacBook Apple's bread and butter?
No.
Like, is that where, or is it still iPhone? Because I almost feel like, I know MacBooks are expensive, and these are no
what do you mean by bread and butter? Because technically, they started with desktop computers. So, I mean, you have to say...
Yeah, no, what I mean is
iPhone is... I'd say
iPhone.
Yeah, still iPhone? Yeah, because, I mean,
iPad,
it's kind of interesting. I don't know about the iPad. I think the iPad...
You don't need a MacBook. The iPad is a computer. What are you talking about?
This is true. This is true. But, I mean, looking at some of the numbers here, like the M1... So the M3 Max, 40-core GPU, 16-core CPU. Like, fucking seriously? And it has support for 128 gigs of RAM. Who is using
for what? I mean,
exactly. What are you fucking?
And they're like, and now they're talking about ray tracing and gaming. Now you're talking about gaming.
Not people like us are using that.
Yeah, seriously. Like that kid, your grandmother who has an AOL email account is not going to need a fucking M3 Max.
Well, actually. After I make my video on my iPhone 15 Pro Max using the dolly and all the equipment, I use my top of line M3 Pro Ultra chip, and I produced that video in about 3.5 seconds. So, joke's on you.
Let me ask you something. So I know the iMac, which is their colorful, I guess, consumer-friendly version of their Macs.
Kind of like purple microphones, right?
Kind of like a purple microphone. Now, I think they have a purple one, don't they? I think there's
I'd take one.
And I think they might, yeah. Now, I actually think that this is a better play for Apple. I know people use MacBooks because they're portable, but for the home, for the average person, for the the kid who's doing his homework and the wannabe SoundCloud rapper, like I feel like that's a better choice for like what they're doing there, right? I think it's I know it's very divisive. Like it's people either love it or hate it, but I mean, this one here, the one they just released, the M3 iMac, I mean, it looks pretty good. You've got the M3 chip is in there, Wi-Fi 6E, Bluetooth 5.3. You've got a 30% faster than the M1 Mac. Like it's a pretty good
M2.
And even
And while that sounds impressive, again, for me personally, I am not a Mac OS guy. I just don't like it. So to me, it's like it's got everything people would want if they utilize that, but I'm still a Windows guy at the end of the day. So
yeah. Now, Roddy, you're a Mac.
You're shaking your head,
that, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you? What are you using currently, and what would you upgrade to if money was no object?
Well, first I'm going to say this: I don't trust any of those specs that Apple puts out there, and I'll tell you why. So, 2 years ago, I guess it was, everyone sold me on M1 that it was the best thing. You got to get it. You need to get it. It's amazing. Yada yada yada. Get an M1 Pro. It's even better. Yeah. So I got a Mac Mini with the M1, whatever the biggest one I could get, with 16 gigs of RAM and all this, and everyone's like, that computer is going to blow your current MacBook Air out of the water, and it did.
Of course. Yeah,
it didn't. It did not live up to the hype. I was really disappointed. But now I have, which I still have that. I still use it in my office, but I also have an M2 Mac Mini, pretty much the same specs, just with the M2, and the M2 is night and day different.
Yes.
But I did see.
Could you compare the what's the A17? What's it called? Not the Bionic, in the iPhone.
So the one that's in the iPhone now,
yeah.
Or
so you know how it's super overpowered, and most average users are not going to use its potential. And if you compare it to any other, so that's how it is. That's how I agree with the MacBook. I mean, the M1, M2 are great chips, but the average consumer is going to be like, okay, it's still Mac OS, and it's faster. I guess
I can't tell it, and that's why I say I can't trust it, because like I can't tell that there's any difference between like the speed and the performance of my 15 Pro Max versus my 13 Pro that I had. It doesn't feel. I'm not saying it's bad. It feels smooth. It feels capable, but I don't see that it's like. I can't tell a huge difference between the two. Now I could on between the M1 and the M2, but I saw a thing MKBHD put out that they were comparing how much faster this new chip is compared to the M1, but they didn't compare it to the M2. So I'm wondering if it's not that big of a difference, and that's why they didn't show it.
So moral of the story: don't
20%.
Don't upgrade every year.
Between 10 and 20%.
No.
Yeah, just don't upgrade every year. It's just like if you have an iPhone 14 Pro Max, don't get the iPhone 15. It's not going to be that much different. But it's the same with every computer. You go from an i7 12 gen to 13 gen, they'll say it's that much better, but you probably won't see that much on day to day.
No.
Yeah. Now, one thing they did kill off is that fucking touch bar, which I don't think anybody ever.
I love that.
And
I would have liked that, actually.
I'm a touchy-feely kind of guy,
Yeah, I would have liked it.
So, I mean...
That's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
Who is that?
Wait a second.
It's the man. He's back.
Is that Mr. Pixel?
He works for Google. What's he doing? We're talking about MacBooks. He's going to be in trouble.
Can he hear us?
That's why I'm talking. I don't think he can.
Does he know he's here?
Come on. Does he know he's in the building? And Delmon's just joined our podcast and he's just sitting there chilling.
I hope he starts singing or something.
I'm going to message him and just say, we can see you, bro. So
TA Tech. The M3. Is that something you're looking at? Are you a MacBook guy since you have an iPhone? You're not a MacBook guy or what? A Mac OS?
Yes, I do have an M2. Yeah, I'm not looking for the M3. I don't think it's really necessary for me. One, because I just upgraded to the M2.
Right.
So I mean, it's cool, and yeah, the spec update isn't bad, but for somebody with an M2, really not necessary.
Yeah, so maybe if you have an M1, maybe the M3 you'd see some benefit. But
yes,
I also read something that there's 3 versions of the M3, and in the middle one they reduce some kind of memory bandwidth. They actually purposely handicapped it, which makes sense. You pay more for more. I just think that's kind of interesting.
I think they've realized that they've been making it too good.
Yes.
Yep.
And you noticed as well their Mac sales are down. I think the Mac sales are down quite a bit from the numbers they released the other day. So,
but I think that's the issue too, right?
People buy them and then they're just sticking with them because they're so good.
But that's it. And I mean, that's the same with the iPhone. Like, how many people out there are still using an iPhone 12 and have no interest in upgrading to a 15 or a 16?
Right. Well, that's why we have subscription services now. That's why everyone's doing subs, because they have to make money somehow, and hardware is only so upgradable. It's called churn. If you ever sold cell phones,
yes.
And churn is only so profitable over time, so they have. I sound like an idiot now, but yeah, I just think that
churn.
Ooh, big words.
But I mean, exactly. I mean, that's exactly what I think, Dan. You hit the nail on the head. Is that what can they just keep going up and up and up and up and up? People are going to stop buying. Because they don't see no, I don't mean stop buying completely, but what I mean is the people that don't buy every single year like fucking we do, because we love tech. Average Joe, middle income family is going to buy, one MacBook, and it's going to last fucking 5 years, 6 years, maybe longer. And then eventually they realize, okay, it's time to change, time to change it up, right?
But is that their market?
See, that's the $1 million question, right? But I mean, again, looking at the specs of the Pro, like, who the fuck is buying that $20,000 MacBook?
Dalvon.
I think that Apple might have a bigger
3 of them.
Yeah, exactly. 6 of them. No, I think when I think back to whenever last year, I'm a young guy and I was in college, but like. All of the music program, because I was in the music program, but even like all of the computer programs, everything, they'd buy new Macs every year. Yes. And I'm wondering if that's their selling point, is that they say, let's upgrade this because we know we're going to get X amount of bulk orders, and then hopefully it will trickle out to a few other creators and stuff like that. But I think that's really what they're doing, is they're trying to make it look attractive so that those people who actually buy this stuff will upgrade and get a new one.
Well, we know that Apple has the educational discount too, right? So I wonder, like, if they buy, let's say you buy fucking 25 MacBook Pros at 10 to 15% off. You're saving a good chunk of cash there, right? Especially if you're buying in a mass bulk. And I mean, look, the reality is, in a lot of educational institutions, they're trying to give their $100,000 a year students the best of the best. So for them, it's probably nothing. But again, I mean, I'm looking at it from an average Joe consumer, right? Like, are you going to upgrade every single year? Probably not. But again, like Roddy said, the one or two people out there who are like, well, I need 36 gigs of RAM to fucking, edit my OnlyFans videos and, fucking create, I don't know, YouTube reels or something. Like, even that's too much. No, I'm not talking about Roddy. I'm just saying, like, that average person, right?
Well, let me ask you something. Delvon's he just joined, and this might be something he's going to love this. So, we all know that the Snapdragon 3 was announced. I know we might have talked about it last week. And they introduced a bunch of generative AI and a bunch of AI hot takes. So I'm going to pose a question to the group, not aimed at Dalvon. So should Google abandon their Tensor ambitions and just jump back to Snapdragon?
Oh, good question.
I'll go first.
Oh, please. It wasn't aimed at you by any means.
no. I'll just say I'll go first. I'm gonna say hell no. Google needs to continue on this path because they need to stick to their own silicone. Period. They just got to keep improving it. Apple silicone wasn't as good as it was when they first started either. And anybody who makes their own silicone. Matter of fact, Snapdragon wasn't even that good. You got to remember that.
Yes.
So we got to give these manufacturers enough time. So right now we are in the beta phase of Google. Every generation is getting slightly better. And 2025, when they move to TSMC or whatever, you know what I'm talking about. It's probably going to get even better. But I would look at that as another first gen again. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're starting all over. So then we got to just wait for the build up. So no, I don't think they should give up. And I think that Snapdragon, because what I seen from Snapdragon was amazing. I think that might be the motivation to push Google even further. Yeah. Because right now they're winning in AI, but if somebody step up and challenge them, they got to do better now.
Okay, who disagrees with that? I mean, honestly, the Snapdragon Gen 3, okay, of course, it's going back to Apple. They're going to promote how much faster it is and whatever. Of course. Yeah. But it is interesting that they added a bunch of AI, and they do have a lot of resources, not that Google doesn't. And they're going to have the majority of the Android phones running their chip. I think they're at a point, Snapdragon's at a point now where they're seeing companies making their own chips. MediaTek's getting bigger. You know, everyone's creating their own thing, so they've got to do something. Yeah. So I don't think they should give up on Tensor necessarily, but they got to start pushing a little bit. Maybe they kind of laid back a little bit in this last one, but I was told next year, it's always next year, you know. It's kind of like when your favorite sports team has a losing season. They always say, "Oh, there's always next year."
But you know what? If you really think about it, though, the only complaints about Tensor is like heating and power. Like the tech community, right? The tech community is the only ones complaining about this. They want more power, and then they complain about heat. Just theoretically, like I have 3 friends who have a Pixel, right? Not one single time have they talked about that with me. Not one of them. Yeah. And I asked them consistently, like every few months. I'd be like, "How's your?" You know, after we get updates on our Pixels, I'm like, "How's your Pixel?" They'd be like, "Man, it's the best phone I ever had." And I don't even bring up any issues. I don't even bring it to their knowledge because they probably don't know. I just ask them and see if they're going to tell me if there's any heating or any other type of problems, but they never talk about any problems. Literally, it's really the tech community that's really pushing that narrative because and it's mainly people who are not even going to buy the Pixel. They just want it to be more powerful, or they just use it. They talk about it so they can have something to talk about.
Delvon, the problem is Apple saw this and now they're mad at you, so that now they took your screen away. We can't see you anymore.
Oh, that's what they did. That's what they did.
They censored you. They're like, this guy, we can't have him talking.
Cut you right the fuck off.
There you go.
Sorry
about that.
Crazy. That's messed up.
Apple's like, hell no, we're cutting this guy off.
I think I'm on the wrong camera. That's why. I think I'm on the wrong setting over here. I gotta probably fix that. But yeah.
OnlyFans setting.
Yeah, right.
It censors real quick when someone walks in.
I gotta agree with what Benobi Tech just said.
Yeah, so Benobi Tech said that Google needs to start sticking with their ideas a little longer. They've cancelled way too much over the years. That's a fair statement,
Yeah, but they're taking chances. They're taking chances. I mean, Apple's is not really taking chances anymore. They're perfecting things. Google may not stick with stuff, but at least they're trying new things. And it's like Samsung back in the day used to throw everything at the wall to see what sticks. But at least it was interesting. Now look what we have. We have an S23 Ultra that's not a Note anymore, but it has a pen. A lot of things wouldn't be here if someone didn't try. So I'm okay with them trying, as long as it's not something. Yeah, the Soli chip I thought was kind of stupid myself. I didn't use it.
Let me just interject for a second.
That was awesome for Face Unlock. I don't care.
Well, for Face Unlock, I agree.
Yeah. Let me flip it around for a second.
Temperature sensor.
Do you think this is Snapdragon's answer to Google's AI?
No.
Yes.
Well, yeah. AI. Yeah. Not the chip, but the AI.
I mean, they're just trying to. Well, put it like this: they're just trying to get an AI game. Like the AI.
That's what they're all doing.
Yeah. It's the buzzword. They got to do it. Yep.
Yeah. Hey, hot take, or just heads up. TNT Podcast is going all AI.
It's true,
So just keep that.
Virtual us.
It's just going to be a virtual us. It's going to be generating our voices, the tone, and everything.
You know what's sad though? It's going to be better because of that.
That's right. Yeah, our subscriber numbers are going to fucking skyrocket. That's okay. Now, speaking of AI, yes, speaking of AI, let's talk music for a second. I know we don't talk a lot of music in this, but I know we have.
Did you guys find my rap on sound on the?
We did. Yeah,
my rapping.
I found. I'll play a little bit of Tuna's rap song a little later on in the podcast. We'll come back to that. But
he's got to go find something.
I'll have to go deep into your catalog. Don't worry, I'll find something.
Deep in my catalog.
Yes. So. It's very rare that you would see in the news the Beatles, superstar, British band, and AI together in one title. But that this morning, or maybe yesterday, the Beatles have just released their final song using AI because 2 of their band members have passed on. To release their final song. Now, from what I understand, and let me make sure I quote this properly because I know I have it here. They took a 1995 guitar track from George Harrison and a demo track from John Lennon dating back to the 1970s, and they kind of took the other guys and mishmashed it and got them to record some stuff, or took the recording that they had and use machine learning to essentially, the problem was with this track is that John Lennon had recorded the track with a piano accompaniment. And back in the 1970s, they didn't have the ability to separate the tracks where they could separate John Lennon's voice from the actual musical track.
Correct.
Now that we have AI, they've managed to successfully isolate the 2 tracks, and they've taken John Lennon's vocals, attached it to George Harrison's guitar riff, got the other guys to play the drums and Paul McCartney to record some vocals or had the lyrics or whatever it was, and they've put together a song as their final song. Now, just because we're playing the let's see if we can get canceled game, I'm going to play you a little bit of the track.
Probably not a good idea.
Wow, we're going to see what happens, just for shits and giggles. Let's see what they say. Here we go.
Oh, Jesus.
That's all I'm going to give you. But so my question is, is it okay for artists that maybe have passed away and the remaining band members stay behind?
Hold on. Before you pose that question.
Yes.
There was another AI leak too. Have you guys never heard of this? There is an AI, Johnny Cash has passed away. Yes. He's dead.
Yep.
There's circling on the internet, Johnny Cash singing Taylor Swift, covering Taylor Swift, and I listened to
his voice.
Oh my God, it's him. You gotta search for it.
Right.
It's not a good thing. Okay. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but I'm just saying it's crazy how real AI can be.
They did one with Arnold too.
Yeah, it's good and bad. I think it's cool to see the tech, but I think someone's losing out on money or copyright.
Cool, but
or
it's
something.
not quite right.
Hello, I'm not Johnny Cash. So it's gonna be forever, or it's gonna go
crazy,
down
isn't
in
it?
flames. You can tell me when it's over, if the high was worth the pain. Got a long list of ex-lovers, they'll tell you I'm insane. 'Cause I love the players, and you love the game.
No more Tay-Tay. I can't handle it.
Like Johnny Cash. Like, that's freakishly like Johnny Cash's voice there.
It's
which
scary.
is a scary, scary thing, right?
Yeah.
Now, so what I was going to ask is, so we know that there are lots of people that love, music and love bands and love artists. And sometimes those artists don't stick around for very long, right? If you think about all people that have passed away in the past 50 years, some great artists. But a lot of the time, the band remains behind, right? Like the rest of the artists, the rest of the things are still there. They still love to play music. Now, is it okay for them to take, let's say, a demo track, the vocals of this artist, use AI powers or maybe like the tone in their voice or whatever, and release the last of their music to a dormant of fans? Is it okay?
Yes and no.
I would say I agree with yes too.
I say yes and no because yes, as long as proper what's the word I'm looking for? Like
royalties.
Not royalties, but just letting people know that it is AI generated, so we know it's
like
not real.
Yeah,
some safeguards, and also if there are royalties involved, the players that are involved get what they are there for. Whether it's the family, if they're passed away, the families or whatever.
It's gonna get messy.
It is. I know that's
because there's some AI. There's some AI leaks of people, using my voice to sing because it's so beautiful, and it's been really.
Well, do you remember there was that track? Someone had created an AI track with Drake earlier in the year, and it was people wanted it to be nominated for a Grammy, and the people at the Grammys were like, "No, fucking, you guys have lost your fucking mind. We're not putting like a fake generated track because it sounds like the artist." Out there because that would be insane, right? But are we going to get to that point?
Mm-hmm.
Like that Beatles track is the original people. Like there's no AI. The only part of the AI being used is to just separate audio so that they can take those layers and remix it.
Well, it's fine as long as they're saying that. If they say, yes, we used AI technology to separate that, I'm okay, or whatever software they use.
Yeah.
But this Taylor Swift cash thing, there's got to be someone getting paid. If it's going to be, but I think it's an amazing technology as long as, we all know that here in the U.S., Biden had just signed some kind of legislation for AI, restrictions. And I think that's a good thing. I think we need to be ahead of that. We don't want it to be used for bad. Right now, it's infancy, but it can get real bad real quick.
We just had an AI summit here as well in UK.
Yes, you were attending, weren't you, Dad?
Oh, yes. I had a little chat with Elon, as you do.
Yeah, right.
Did you guys solve the rain issue?
Yes.
Not yet.
Not yet.
It's kind of important, though, to actually have the rain.
Some rain. Some rain's important.
Okay.
So, I don't know if you heard about Elon. Speaking of Elon, he's releasing his own AI.
He already did.
I've got it.
Oh, he did. Well, maybe he did. I have no idea.
Been
But anyway,
it's great.
Yes, it is.
You like
true.
it?
Yes.
I didn't like it. So, I don't know. It's okay for right now for me.
So, what's it called? Is it XAI? Is that what it's called? Forget.
I don't know. It's in my Twitter app, like on not on the phone, but on the computer. Is on the Twitter app or X app.
Yeah, right. Okay.
On my
it's like built in. Like you can go to a post or whatever, and then it'll say find similar posts to that subject, and you click it. And then...
So let me ask you this: did you know that Musk co-founded OpenAI, which is the company behind ChatGPT?
Mm-hmm.
I believe it.
Yep.
Oh, he's being censored again.
We've lost that one again.
It was supposed to be a non-profit though, which
it was, ironically,
And
then
say Elon Musk and non-profit? That doesn't make any sense.
I know, right?
That's an oxymoron right there.
Well, he didn't make any money off it. That's the funny thing. Like,
so here's the thing, right? I mean, we know he stepped down in 2015. So I mean, this was before it kind of like struck the big time. But he launched this XAI earlier in the year. So he's kind of taking, from what I understand, like some of the best parts of ChatGPT and some of the Google DeepMind stuff that he was also a part of in their research firms, and kind of blending this into, I guess, his current services that he's using, right? Yes, into his mind. I always saw, like people are getting microchip their brains. I always saw that Elon would be one of the first to do something like that, like just put the AI directly in the fucking brain, and, then he becomes the T-1000 and takes over the earth. But, I don't know. I just want for me personally, I know, Dan, was that big news in the UK? Like the whole Beatles AI song-ish thing?
I kind of heard about it on Twitter, and that was about it. I don't think anybody really cares.
No way.
Oh, really? Okay.
Maybe the Beatles fans. I assume there'll be plenty of those that do, but
are there Beatles fans?
I'm not one of them. Are there Beatles fans?
I'm not a huge
Beatles
fan. I'm kidding with you. I'm kidding.
Dan, separate side note, have you seen the movie Yesterday?
I didn't see a movie yesterday.
What
movie did I see yesterday? What are you talking about?
What happened yesterday?
The movie titled Yesterday is about a... so for those of you who haven't, you can check this one out, post podcast, but The movie yesterday is about a guy who is an aspiring karaoke / musical artist who plays a lot of Beatles songs. One day he gets hit by a bus. Oh. He wakes up and realizes that everyone besides himself doesn't know who the Beatles are. So he capitalizes by releasing all of the Beatles tracks under his artistry.
Where do you hear about these movies?
It's an amazing movie. Like, I mean, it's honestly like it really is a great movie. It's one of the better ones. Essentially, the basic plot of it is that eventually some people start coming out of the woodwork saying, "We remember them too," and they start to catch on to this guy who is releasing these amazing Beatles tracks for everybody to appreciate. But yeah, if you love movies, I know for those of you who love the Beatles, especially, if you haven't seen that movie, it's called Yesterday. It's a great movie.
Never heard of it. I'll check it out.
I haven't either.
Yeah, especially if you love Beatles music, because there's tons of of their back catalog in there.
I believe that Roddy was more an NSYNC Backstreet Boys kind of guy.
He looked like it.
He looked like it.
He looked like it, bro.
I think he's more 98 degrees, right?
Oh man.
No, and I'm not a Swiftie either. I'm not a Swiftie
either. Wow.
A Swiftie. Oh, okay.
Swiftie. Okay, so moving on, let's talk a little bit about the Nothing Phone 2. So the Nothing Phone 2 has been making some splashes in the tech space this year. But
it's trash.
It's trash, yes. It's trash.
I'm messing with you, Roddy.
No, Delvon, it's not trash. It's really good as a paperweight. It really holds your paper down.
You're right.
A doorstop.
It's a great flashlight.
It does that good.
It's a great flashlight.
So there was an article that came out. Roddy's using his right now as a doorway. No, but there was a great article that came out earlier this week, about a week ago, saying that and this was one of the editors over at Tom's Guide, which is a respectable publication in a lot of ways, but basically saying that they picked the Nothing Phone 2 over every other Android flagship. And some of the reasons that they bring up is things
That's
like
all you need to know. That's it.
Yeah, no more reading.
Right? Like they talk about the customization,
cool.
like the glyph lighting on the back. But one of the things that they said that caught my attention, and they do the comparison between this and the OnePlus 7T Pro McLaren edition. I don't know if you remember that device.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
But saying that the Nothing Phone 2 is kind of like the modern era's version of that device, which was held by a lot of people as being this big, nice change in the smartphone space back.
Who made that McLaren phone?
It was OnePlus.
Right. And who developed Nothing? The company.
Carl Pay, that's
Roddy.
correct.
He was at the helm when that phone came out. Oh, Roddy did. Just like you work for Google, right?
That's why he had his OnlyFans to get the money to do nothing. That's nothing. He's nothing.
You got to join the ranks of Mr. Beast, and instead of using Samsung, use Nothing for all your videos.
Y'all got to let Roddy speak. This is his bread and butter right here.
That's true.
On Google, he's nothing. He's Mr. Nothing.
Yeah.
He's nothing.
Nothing branded.
Nothing.
I almost want you to change the channel, your YouTube channel, to call yourself Mr. Nothing, because I actually feel like that would be fucking amazing.
That would
Mr.
Nothing.
Seriously? That's good.
Yeah.
I like that.
But anyway, he go Mr. Nothing.
Exactly. So I mean, they were basically saying in this article that the reason that the Nothing Phone 2 is kind of revered by a lot of people is because it brings something different to the Android space. Now, Roddy, you've been using the Nothing Phone 2 for a little while, pretty consecutively, I think, for a while now, if I remember right. So what about the Nothing Phone 2 would you say is the reason why it stands out amongst this sea of smartphones this year?
I would agree with the article on that. It felt like the first phone I've had in a long time that felt different than everything else that was out there. And that was one of the reasons why I picked up foldable, is because it felt different. But like I said in my review on that phone, it also kind of feels like home because it has a similar shape to the iPhone. Yes. And I think a lot of people have grown to like that shape, and it's become the norm or whatever. I'm not super sold on it, but whatever. But some of the stuff they said in there, like they talk a lot about the glyph interface, And I was kind of like, I mean, it's cool. I use it for notifications and, you know, when I get a text message or telegram, whatever. But
so, I'm not laughing at you, Roddy. I'm sorry. It's the chat. I apologize. I really do.
I see.
Me and Dan saw the same thing, and I'm like, damn it, Dan got to it first.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what I would agree. It's just something different. I think that's and it's been a solid phone. I mean, I haven't had any issues out of it. So
yeah. Now you've had like the S23 Ultra, you've had the Pixel Fold. So I mean, you've gone through the gauntlet of like phones this year, and I mean, you've been and you're one of the few people that I know has the Nothing Phone 2, and basically has been pretty happy with it. Like I haven't seen really a lot of people saying, hey, this is trash, you know, it's garbage, blah blah blah. But yeah, it's kind of an interesting. It's an interesting article. I mean, I saw it and I kind of thought, yeah, you know what, like. That's where we're at, like with the smartphone industry. And I think 2023 has been an interesting year of a little bit of ups and downs for a lot of these smartphone manufacturers, where it's a year of iteration versus innovation. But the Nothing Phone 2 was one that is very, very different, right, compared to everything else that's out there.
Well, here's what's interesting. We had a talk. I mean, Roddy, your channel kind of focuses on nothing. At least that's what you recently said. And a lot of you have been talking about, hey, I'm not going to keep buying phones over and over again. I'm going to stick with something. And I think that's part of the problem is that, like, I had Nothing Phone 2, but I feel like as a creator, I got to get the next thing. So I got to sell it. You know, I got to get rid of it.
Yeah.
And I wish I would have held on to it. Like the Honor, me and Darren really like the Honor Magic 5 Pro. And it was, to me, the phone of the year.
That so much.
And I still regret it. But to me, it's like I got to move on to the next thing. And I think maybe like Dalvon talking about Google related products, Roddy, nothing, Dan, purple microphones and Muff, you know, whatever your thing is, you know, you got to really focus on something. And I think that's where this Nothing Phone 2 is starting to take shape, because people are like, look, all these phones are all the same. And honestly, the Nothing Phone 2, it to me wasn't that much different. It had the lights on the back, but it was like the skin. Everyone's like, oh, it's just a skin. Yeah, but no one else is doing that.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, it looks different. It feels different, right?
And then they released, and then Nothing has the CMF brand, which they incorporated all that design into those things too, as well. So it's an interesting concept, and I'm not against them. I kind of wish I would have kept the Nothing Phone 2, but I tried to buy one a couple weeks ago, but the seller backed out.
It's not good. It's so good you can't get rid of it.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly.
I'm not calling anybody out. That's not what I'm saying.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly. There you go. Right now.
What is going on in the chat? We need to calm that chat.
The chat's going wild here, but that's okay.
That's learning words.
I don't know who wrote that word. That's
hide your kids.
I know. Yes, we're gonna get canceled.
We're gonna get a whole new audience coming in to join.
Yeah.
Like, what? So Dalvon got embarrassed.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
He got a little shy. He had to get out.
He's gone. He's out.
Are they
getting a little warm in here.
They're trying to shut me down, man. They're trying to shut me down.
Yeah, we are. We're talking about Roddy's pussy in the background. That's right. Yeah.
Oh, the cat.
Yeah,
oh.
the cat. Yes.
I get
I
it.
thought it was short for muffin. He says, "Oh my god."
Yes.
I thought someone was.
Sorry. Oh boy. Anyway.
That's funny.
God. Before we wrap up, I just wanted to talk about, I know, Dalvon, you're our resident camera guy, and there was an article that came out earlier this week about Canon. So Canon has designed a way, and I'm just going to pull it up on screen, to use all of a smartphone's camera array simultaneously.
What?
So I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see the text on this one there. So Dalvon,
I think I posted this in the Dalvon in the group chat.
Yes.
I think this is an amazing concept.
Yeah. So the basic setup here is that Canon's found a way to use both the wide angle camera and sorry, I'm going to see if I can read this right. To record video with the wide angle camera while shooting photos with the main camera at the same time. Now, isn't that just single take? That's what Samsung calls it? Like
it pretty much is single take though. But they just did it. They just found a way to do it on the phone with the camera and stuff like that. Same concept. Same concept.
Yeah. So Is this going to they're filing a patent about this? I believe, to enable shooting capabilities that have thus far not been possible on handheld devices.
Wait, hold on. One take, didn't that take separate pictures and process them all together? Not together, but
maybe I got that wrong. Is it director's view? Who's the
director's view? Yeah.
Director's view.
That's what I'm referring to. I got that wrong.
Okay.
Yeah. So director's view was this concept that you can use all the lenses at the same time and see everything at the same time. Now, Roddy, you have a Samsung S23 Ultra. Can you record / photograph all of that shit at the same time? So I have no idea.
I don't think so.
Yeah. No.
You mean in director's view, you can just do video. You could just access all the cameras at one time. But there still is a button up there to hit the shutter to take a picture, though, during recording. That's always been a feeture for Androids anyways, regardless. But,
okay. So this is nothing new, and I shouldn't have even brought this up. Okay, thanks.
No. Look, to be honest with you, I thought you was going to bring up the Canon new lens that they got, because I'm excited about it, but that thing is like $3,000. I'm about to go broke for this lens right now. Because, it's the 24 to 105. That's a legendary lens, but now they're bringing out a 2.8 version of it, and it's for video creators, which is insanely crazy. And it has the the first lens that they ever made that actually connects a piece to it, and it actually has a focus ring. You can manually focus and do your own rack focus on it, and it's built in and it's smooth. Man, I'm so geeked for this lens right now, man.
Let me get on the horn with Canon, and we'll see if we can get sponsored. I don't have a DSLR. Well, I do have.
That fucking thing is enormous. That fucking thing is huge. How much does it weigh? What's the weight of this thing?
That didn't sound right. That did not sound right at all. That's that guy in a white van.
Oh, that's not even the right one. Oh fuck! I just pulled on this one. This was sorry.
That's the new one though. That's a new one though. That's 200 to
800. 200 to 800 millimeter lens.
Yeah, I think that's.
Is that what I'm looking at right now?
Holy cow!
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's the 24 to 105. Type in the 24 to 105 2.8.
Okay, hang on.
What's the cost of that, Dalvin? How much does that cost?
Man, I just watched the video of it, man. They talking about $3,000, man. That is insane.
Well, and you just bought 3 MacBook M3 Pros for 25 grand a piece, so you got to save a little bit of money, you know.
I'm gonna make it back with my clients and stuff. So
look,
it's true. Yeah,
the kids can live off ramen and bread. All right.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to be living off.
There you go.
Delvon, what was it again? The Canon 24 to what? Sorry,
24 to 105.
105.
Yeah, make sure you type in 2.8 because that's the new one.
Yeah,
that was just announced.
I'll see if I can find it. Hang on a second. 1 second.
You know you found it when it's black with a red.
There we go. It is still massive, but
it is
not
massive.
as massive.
That's what she said. You know, I mean, I can't help it, but
did she though?
I'm so done with you, bro.
You weren't there. It's only me.
Was I though?
I hope. Oh, that was you in the window.
There's that beauty. There's that beauty, and it's the world's first. Y'all see it,
awesome.
man.
That's beautiful.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes. This lens is basically a workhorse for video. But the older versions are the 4.0 version of it that everyone raves about for video. And now they just really kind of dedicated the lens for video. So
right. Okay. So this is specifically video related.
They added video features. Like I say, it has a little prompt on the side where you connect the focus ring to, and then you can do your manual focus just like that to make it smooth motion.
Right. Okay.
Like that.
Wow.
Which also costs us $1,000.
Oh Jesus! Seriously?
So you buy that piece costs $1,000. Yo, I'm telling you, man. Look, man. I don't know if I'm going to get that because that's ridiculous, but I want that lens though.
Well, you missed the beginning, Dalvon. You missed the beginning of our podcast. You don't need that. You need an iPhone 15 Pro Max with a whole entire camera rig, and you'll be good.
A $500,000 camera.
My tissue. Hey, where my tissues like wipe my ass?
You know what, Dalvon? When you did that, you know what I thought of? You've been around little kids too much.
Oh my god!
Delvon, he's in dad mode currently, so we have to
PG.
We appreciate him being on. I know, even just for a little bit, for a few minutes here, because we know how hard it is when you got the newborns at home. How is the little one doing there, Delvon?
She's doing good right now. She's currently with her mom, so I got time. I shot so much video just now in the studio. I seen y'all was live. I was like, look, I'm already set up. Let me hop in this.
Let's do this. There you go. Yeah.
Good.
He's lying. Bro. It's Alita. No. She's training. She's training right now. Yeah, you know damn well
she's behind the camera. I know. It's all right. I get it.
You're right.
Yeah. Well, listen, again, it's been a very interesting week in tech, and I know we're heading towards, the end of the season of tech coming up. And for those that are paying attention, on December 1st, we are going to be having the first ever TNT Best of Tech podcast. And we are going to be dressing it up and calling out our best of tech for 2023. We will come up with some lovely award categories. They will receive, an IOU in the mail from Roddy and myself. And
no, if they win, they owe us.
That's right. Yeah, I figured. That's right. So, I know like Marquez there, he usually gets the product, tests it, and then gives the award. So I'm just saying, right? Like, that's how it is. But yeah, we're going to have our very first Best of Tech 2023 edition, December 1st podcast coming up in a few weeks' time. And we will be back every Friday until then. And as we head into the Christmas and New Year break, we will be taking a little bit of a breather and coming back for another big year of craziness and everything in between. But in the meantime, make sure you like and subscribe to all these lovely people that you see here in the chat. We appreciate you all, guys, for being here. They all do amazing things on YouTube, OnlyFans. Tuna's crazy active on the Lego Reddit forum. So, check that out. But please take a look at all these guys. They do a great job. And make sure you hit that subscribe button on the TNT Podcast on YouTube. And if you're catching us the next day on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, etc., leave us a comment. Say hi. Say what up. Say, how do I get to Roddy's OnlyFans page? I'll give you the link. It's all good. And we'll go from there. But listen, thank you very much to Dan, Roddy, Delvon, TA Tech. Appreciate you. Delvon rocking the Pixel Fold there, calling them out. And there you go. He's the Pixel guy. Roddy's the nothing guy. TA Tech's the iPhone guy. Dan's the Sony guy. Tuna is the every guy because he tests every phone. He's the yes, we're gonna be the OnePlus guys. That's what we're gonna do.
So we got Roddy is nothing. Dalvon's Google. We're OnePlus. I mean, we got TA Tech as iPhone. Dan is purple dinosaur. Barney microphone.
He's a Pixel / Sony / iPhone guy. That's good. We're multi-talented here at the TNT Podcast.
I actually got the iPhone 13 Pro as my camera right now. So.
Oh, nice. There you go. So, see, there we go. It's all happening. But I appreciate you all.
Phone. You got the wrong phone. Just letting you know.
I know, right? Yeah, we're gonna get you on that Pixel back, Ryan. That's exactly
Shots fired.
He does have a Pixel 4 though. We should appreciate that. He does have a Pixel 4 in house. Right there. There you go. Right there.
Good enough.
So,
I should have got a Pixel 8 to be honest. Anyway.
Oh yeah. Then instead of the iPhone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I think we all feel that way. A bit of bias remorse.
Last year.
I know. I feel like we should just, if we're going to have an award on the December 1st show, it should be for the Samey Award. The phone that was the most like last year's. And we'll see what
Apple.
I like that.
Every year. Apple will
win. I know, seriously, every year they win that. Yeah, I know. But consistency is key, people. That's what it's about. Right?
It is.
Exactly.
It's their strength and their curse at the same time. So
it is. Exactly. And listen, we all know that it doesn't matter what you choose to use as long as you enjoy it. And on that note, we're going to leave it there, guys. Appreciate you all for being here. Please catch us on the next one, next Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And appreciate you all. Thanks.